They are weak because they never learned how to command their own minds. They let chaos rule them. Every distraction, every emotion, every sudden impulse takes the throne inside their skull. They scream about order, yet they obey disorder. They pray for strength, yet they feed their own weakness. Look around you. Men broken by noise, men enslaved by their appetites, men drowning in fear. They beg for peace, but peace never arrives. You are not here to beg. You are here to rise, to carve steel into your thoughts, to forge your mind into a weapon that cuts through confusion and remains steady when the world collapses. Machiavelli knew the truth. Power is never granted to the desperate. It belongs to the cold, to the disciplined, to those who control themselves when others are consumed. This is not soft philosophy. This is war psychology. The storm will never end, so you must become the eye of the storm, silent, sharp, untouchable. Engrave this in your mind. Write it now in the comments so it burns into your psychology. My mind is my fortress. Say it like an oath. Say it like a command. Because today, your training begins. Number 1, the enemy within. They think the enemy wears another man's face. They think it's the government, the economy, their boss, their critics, their enemies in the shadows. But the most ruthless enemy is closer. It lives inside their own mind. It whispers in moments of weakness, convincing them to wait, to delay, to compromise. It breeds hesitation when action is required. It feeds on fear when courage is demanded. It tempts with comfort when discipline is the only path. That voice has destroyed more men than wars, more empires than armies. Understand this. Your greatest adversary is not out there. It is within. Machiavelli knew that men are ruled by two forces, fear and gain. Your inner enemy manipulates both. It paralyzes you with fear of loss, and it enslaves you with hunger for cheap rewards. Most men lose this battle before they even realize it exists. They obey their cravings. They serve their fears. They kneel to the tyrant inside their own skull, and then they blame the world for their failure. But you are not most men. If you are here, it means you are ready to impose law upon yourself. You must become a ruthless ruler over your inner kingdom. Dictatorship over weakness. Tyranny over doubt. No debate, no compromise. When the voice says rest, you command yourself to rise. When it says wait, you strike. When it says you cannot, you prove it wrong with action. This is the first law of power. He who cannot rule himself cannot rule anything. Write this now in the comments so it becomes a brand on your soul. I conquer myself first. Let that be your creed, your standard, your cold reminder. Until you silence the enemy within, you will remain a servant. But once you master it, you become untouchable. Number 2, the discipline of cold focus. They waste their strength by scattering it across too many battles. They chase one thing today, abandon it tomorrow, and in the end, they stand with nothing. A man without focus is a man without power. Chaos thrives on distraction, and distraction is the silent thief of greatness. But discipline of focus is different. It is calm, cold, and precise. When you train your mind to lock onto a single path, you strip chaos of its weapons. You no longer flinch at noise. You no longer break at the weight of temptation. Instead, you become unshakable, steady, sharp, impossible to move. This is the mark of true power, not loudness, not aggression, but control. Machiavelli understood that a ruler must adapt in appearance, but remain constant at the core. That is your task as well. Outwardly, you may bend. You may appear flexible, even ordinary. But inside, your vision must remain untouchable. Focus must be your iron law. The man who stays centered while others drift gains strength that cannot be stolen. Cold focus demands sacrifice. It requires that you cut away the unnecessary, no matter how tempting. It means eliminating distractions that drain your energy and replacing them with actions that sharpen your edge. This is not about denying yourself. It is about refining yourself. Every moment you remove what is useless, you make room for what builds you. Every decision to stay aligned with your vision strengthens the fortress of your mind. This is how you rise above chaos. Not by fighting noise with noise, but by building silence within yourself. Not by chasing everything, but by mastering one path at a time until you command results. Focus is not weakness. It is not limitation. It is the very definition of freedom. The freedom to choose your direction and pursue it with unrelenting force. Write this in the comments to engrave it into your mind. My focus is my weapon. Let it become a creed. Let it guide you when the world tempts you to scatter. Because once your focus is disciplined and cold, you will not just survive chaos, you will thrive within it. Number 3. The armor of detachment. They weaken themselves because they cling too tightly. They cling to approval. They cling to opinions. They cling to outcomes they cannot fully control. And every time they cling, they hand their strength away. A man who ties his identity to what shifts and changes is a man who has no foundation. But you are here to build a foundation so strong that chaos cannot move it. And for that, you must master the armor of detachment. Detachment is not emptiness. It is not coldness for the sake of being cold. It is discipline. It is armor for the mind. It is the ability to step into chaos and remain steady when others are consumed. Detachment means you still feel, but you are not ruled by feelings. You still care, but you do not cling. You still strive, but you are not broken when the world does not give you exactly what you want. It is calm in motion, control in the storm. Machiavelli understood that fortune is unstable, like a river that can flood without warning. The wise man does not try to stop the river, he builds higher ground. Detachment is that higher ground. It is the recognition that circumstances will always shift. People will come and go, success and failure will both knock on your door. But when you wear the armor of detachment, none of it shakes you. You cannot be enslaved by fear of loss, and you cannot be blinded by the intoxication of victory. You remain balanced, cold, aware. This discipline protects your energy. Instead of wasting strength reacting to every rise and fall, you conserve it for the battles that matter. Detachment frees you from the trap of chasing endless validation. It frees you from the fear of judgment. It frees you from the panic of failure. Imagine what you could do with all that energy directed into your vision, your craft, your path. While others burn themselves out, clinging to what slips through their fingers, you move forward with clarity and control. But hear me carefully, detachment is not withdrawal. It is not hiding. It is mastery. It is being able to engage fully, give your all, yet never allow outcomes to chain your mind. It is the ability to pour effort into the mission, but release the need to beg for certainty. When you master detachment, you are free. Free from desperation, free from anxiety, free from dependence. And in that freedom, you become strong. Think of the warrior on the battlefield. He grips his sword tightly enough to wield it, but not so tightly that it controls him. He strikes with precision, but he does not tremble with fear of death. That is detachment. It is power in motion without panic. It is engagement without enslavement. It is the shield that allows you to stand calm while the world shifts around you. Repeat this and burn it into your mind. I wear the armor of detachment. Write it in the comments, claim it, let it anchor you. Because when you master detachment, chaos loses its hold. Noise becomes irrelevant. Victory and defeat no longer control you. You move with calm precision, and that makes you untouchable. Detachment is not weakness. It is the highest proof of strength. It is the crown of the disciplined mind, the shield of the powerful soul. And once you wear it, no storm can strip it away. Number 4. The mastery of emotional control. They stumble because they never learned to master what rises within them. Anger pushes them into reckless decisions. Fear freezes them when opportunity is in front of them. Excitement blinds them to hidden dangers. Sadness drains their strength before the battle is even fought. This is how most men live, governed by their feelings instead of governing them. And because of that, They never hold real power. But you are here to learn differently. You are here to master the force that destroys most men. Emotions are not enemies, they are fire. Fire can warm a home or burn it to the ground. The difference is control. Anger, when disciplined, becomes fuel for achievement. Fear, when understood, becomes heightened awareness. Desire, when directed, becomes unstoppable drive. Even pain can be transformed into endurance. What destroys one man can empower another. The difference lies in command. Machiavelli knew that men are ruled by passion more than reason, and yet he understood that those who can bend passion into purpose stand above the rest. He taught that appearances matter, but appearances only hold weight if a man controls his core. That control begins with emotional discipline. You will feel, but you must not be ruled. You will burn, but you must not collapse in the flames. This is not about suppression. Suppression is weakness because it denies reality. Mastery is strength because it accepts reality and bends it. Emotional control is the art of staying calm when others panic, of holding clarity when others drown. It is not the absence of feeling, but the ability to channel it with precision. Imagine a warrior who feels fear before battle, but uses it to sharpen his senses instead of running. That is emotional control. Imagine a leader who feels anger, but uses it to enforce discipline instead of losing himself in rage. That is emotional control. When you master this, you will stand out. In chaos, you will remain composed. In pressure, you will remain decisive. In storms, you will remain steady. People will look at you and see something rare, something intimidating, something magnetic, because you will embody what they cannot, unshakable control. But this mastery does not appear overnight. It is earned through repetition. Each day you face yourself. Each day you train your mind not to obey impulse, but to pause, to observe, to choose. Every time you resist the temptation to lash out, you grow stronger. Every time you direct your emotions into action instead of reaction, you sharpen your edge. With time, your emotions no longer chain you, they serve you. This is what separates the untouchable from the ordinary. Ordinary men are slaves to whatever they feel in the moment. The untouchable man feels, but he rules, he chooses, he directs, and because of that, nothing can truly break him. Now declare it so it brands itself into your identity. Write it in the comments. I rule my emotions. Say it with conviction. Let it become a command to yourself. Because the man who rules his emotions rules himself. And the man who rules himself cannot be broken, cannot be bent, cannot be owned. He is his own master, and mastery is the highest form of power. Number 5. The power of silence. They betray themselves with noise. They speak without discipline. They reveal plans before they are ready, opinions before they are formed, emotions before they are understood. In their hunger to be noticed, they give away the very advantage they should protect. Words become their weakness, not their weapon, and so they remain exposed. But power is not found in endless speaking. It is found in restraint. It is found in the ability to remain silent when silence is stronger than sound. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is presence. Silence is the man who commands attention without needing to beg for it. The weak fear silence because it feels heavy. They fear the stillness because it forces them to face themselves. But the strong embrace silence because they know it is the crucible where clarity is forged. In silence, you listen. In silence, you observe. In silence, you study what others are too busy revealing. You learn their patterns, their weaknesses, their desires, while keeping your own hidden. Machiavelli understood this principle well. He warned that rulers must conceal their true intentions because exposure invites attack. The same law applies to you. Silence is your armor. It shields your strategies, your ambitions, your inner world. You reveal only what you choose and nothing more. When you withhold your words, you deny others access to your power. But silence does not mean passivity. True silence is active. It is deliberate. When you sit in silence, you are not retreating, you are gathering, you are watching, you are preparing. The man who speaks little often knows much. The man who listens learns what the loud will never understand. This is why silence builds authority. In any room, the man who listens more than he speaks holds the advantage. When he finally chooses to speak, every word lands heavier. Every phrase carries gravity because silence sharpened it. People lean in when he speaks, not because of volume, but because of rarity. His voice is not noise, it is signal. Think of the battlefield of daily life, the one who reacts instantly to every insult, every provocation, every emotional tug. He drains himself. He spends his energy where it brings no gain. But the man of silence does not flinch. He does not explain himself to those who do not matter. He does not react to every attempt to pull him into chaos. His silence is both shield and sword. Shield because it protects his mind. Sword because it cuts through noise with disciplined restraint. Silence also builds self-command. In silence, you master the art of not rushing. You master the art of withholding when your ego screams to react. You master the art of conserving energy until the right moment. A man who can remain silent when provoked is a man who rules himself. And the man who rules himself cannot be owned by anyone. But let us take this deeper. Silence is not just about what you withhold from others. It is also about the stillness you create within yourself. A silent mind is a powerful mind. When you learn to quiet the noise inside, your doubts, your fears, your racing thoughts, you gain clarity that others will never touch. Silence allows you to see what matters. It cuts away the fog. It strengthens your focus until it becomes unshakable. In a world addicted to constant noise, endless talking, endless scrolling, endless distraction, your silence will make you rare. And rarity is power. People are drawn to what they cannot easily understand. They will feel your presence even when you say nothing. They will wonder what you think, what you plan, what you know. That mystery becomes your advantage. Understand this. Silence is not about withdrawal from life. It is about mastery of life. It is not about absence. It is about control. You are not silent because you have nothing to say. You are silent because you know not every moment deserves your words. You are silent because you choose when to reveal and when to remain hidden. That choice is power. Now think of your daily battles. In conversations, hold back from rushing to fill every gap. Let silence work for you. Let others expose themselves while you gather information. In conflicts, do not waste your strength reacting to provocation. Hold your silence and watch the other person burn themselves out. In planning, do not broadcast your moves to anyone who will listen. Guard your silence and let your actions speak at the right time. The greatest kings, generals, and leaders of history knew this law. They did not reveal every intention. They did not explain every decision. They moved quietly, steadily, and only revealed when the time was right. That is why their actions carried weight. They were not diluted by endless talk. This is how you train your mind against chaos, not by reacting, not by drowning in noise, but by choosing silence and using it as a weapon. Noise scatters energy. Silence focuses it. Noise weakens presence. Silence strengthens it. Noise exposes weakness. Silence hides it until strength is undeniable. When you embody silence, you rise above the ordinary. You become the man who sees more than he says. You become the man who acts more than he explains. You become the man who listens, learns, and then strikes with precision. That is the discipline of silence. That is the law of power. So engrave this into your identity, write it in the comments, and let it brand itself into your mind. My silence is my strength. Say it until it becomes part of you, because silence is not the absence of words. It is the presence of control. It is the fortress of discipline. It is the shield of power. And once you master silence, you will no longer need to demand respect. You will command it without a word. Number 6, the discipline of patience. They rush. They run headlong into life, demanding what is not yet ready. They chase shortcuts, grasp for instant victories, and cling to results that have not yet been earned. And because they rush, they scatter their strength, they waste their energy, they burn themselves out. And when the world does not reward their impatience, they break. This is the fate of most men, destroyed not by lack of opportunity, but by lack of patience. But you are not here to be most men. You are here to learn what few ever master, the discipline of patience. Patience is not weakness. Patience is not passivity. Patience is not simply waiting for life to hand you something. Patience is command over yourself. It is mastery of your impulses. It is power over time. Understand this. Impatience is surrender. It is handing control of your mind to frustration, to desire, to the illusion of urgency. Patience is dominance. It is the refusal to be rushed. It is the ability to hold steady, to endure pressure, to persist without bending. The impatient man is ruled by emotion. The patient man rules emotion. The impatient man serves the chaos of the moment. The patient man bends chaos into order. Machiavelli knew this law. He wrote that fortune is like a river, flooding without warning, sweeping away the unprepared. The foolish man throws himself against the current and is crushed. The wise man builds higher ground, strengthens his defenses, and waits. He does not demand that the river stop. He endures until the river bends back in his favor. That is patience, not surrender, but preparation, not hesitation, but strategy. Look across history. The greatest rulers, warriors, and thinkers did not achieve by rushing. They achieved by enduring. Alexander trained for years before conquering nations. Marcus Aurelius spent decades in discipline before his philosophy shaped an empire. Caesar waited for his moment to cross the Rubicon, then moved when the time was right. They knew that the world bends not to those who demand quickly, but to those who endure steadily. Patience sharpens vision. It allows you to see past the fog of the moment, past the hunger for quick relief, past the distractions that devour ordinary men. The impatient man trades the crown for crumbs. The patient man refuses crumbs and builds the crown with his own hands. The impatient man abandons the path for the thrill of comfort. The patient man stays the course, even when it feels endless, even when it feels impossible. And because of that, he wins. Think of the craftsman at his forge, striking metal day after day, until it becomes unbreakable steel. Think of the monk in silence, sitting through endless discomfort until his mind becomes untouchable. Think of the general who endures delay after delay, watching, preparing until his victory is certain. Patience is not waiting idly, it is active discipline. It is choosing to remain steady while building your strength in the shadows. Impatience scatters energy. It forces you into weak decisions, into wasted effort, into mistakes that must be rebuilt. The impatient man starts over endlessly because he cannot stay the course. The patient man builds once, but builds well, and what he builds lasts. Patience also creates resilience, because the truth is this: life will test you, setbacks will come, delays will frustrate you. Obstacles will rise when you least expect them. The impatient man collapses because he cannot tolerate delay. But the patient man absorbs the blow, steadies himself, and keeps moving. He knows that delay is not defeat. He knows that resistance is part of the process. He knows that time itself bows to the man who endures. This is the law. Time will break the weak, but time will build the strong. Patience does not mean you do nothing. It means you prepare while you wait. While others waste their energy complaining, you sharpen your blade. While others quit because results are not instant, you train harder. While others chase easy distractions, you build foundations that cannot be shaken. The patient man is never idle. He is disciplined, deliberate, and prepared for when opportunity finally arrives. And when it does arrive, he is ready. The impatient man misses his chance because he was too busy chasing what was quick. The patient man seizes his chance because he has been sharpening himself all along. Patience is not about waiting for opportunity. It is about preparing so relentlessly that when opportunity arrives, you devour it completely. Here is the paradox. The patient man often moves faster than the impatient, because impatience leads to restarts, to scattered paths, to wasted strength. Patience leads to consistency, and consistency creates momentum that nothing can stop. The impatient man sprints in circles. The patient man marches in one direction. And though his pace is steady, he arrives at victory while the impatient still runs in place. Patience also frees your mind. The impatient are slaves to urgency, chained by the illusion that everything must happen now. The patient man moves at his own pace. He refuses to be rushed by others. He refuses to be bent by fear. He refuses to sacrifice his long-term vision for short-term comfort. And in this refusal, he becomes untouchable. So train yourself daily in patience. When frustration rises, breathe deeply and hold your course. When the temptation to quit appears, remind yourself, mastery takes time. When results feel distant, remind yourself, greatness is not built in days, but in decades. Every time you endure, you add another brick to the fortress of your mind. Every time you hold steady, you sharpen your edge. Every time you remain patient, you grow more dangerous. This is how you train your mind against chaos, not by demanding that the storm calm itself, but by learning to endure the storm until it passes. Not by bending the world to your impatience, but by bending yourself into discipline so that time itself becomes your ally. Chaos breaks the impatient, but chaos cannot touch the patient. Declare this now, write it in the comments, make it your creed. My patience is my power. Repeat it until it is engraved in you, because the man who can wait cannot be broken. The man who can wait cannot be rushed. The man who can wait controls himself, and the man who controls himself controls everything. Patience is the invisible crown. Wear it, endure, and in time, everything will bend to you. Number 7. The strength of solitude. They fear it. They run from it. They bury it beneath noise, distraction, and endless company. They treat solitude like a curse, as if being alone exposes some unbearable truth. And in their escape from solitude, they escape from themselves. They live their entire lives, surrounded by noise, yet never meet the man within. That is why they are weak. Because a man who cannot stand alone will always need to lean on others. But solitude is not weakness. Solitude is power. Solitude is where the mind sharpens, the will hardens, the spirit grows unbreakable. Solitude is where the illusions of the world fall away, leaving you with the only battlefield that matters, the one inside your own skull. The man who endures solitude does not just know himself, he forges himself. In solitude, you see clearly. The noise of the crowd disappears. The endless opinions, the shallow judgments, the constant distraction, all of it fades. What remains is truth. Brutal, undeniable truth. You see your fears, you see your weaknesses, you see the lies you've been telling yourself. Most men cannot endure this truth, so they flee into noise. They drown themselves in entertainment, in gossip, in constant motion. They run from solitude because they cannot face themselves. But you must do the opposite. You must seek solitude, because in solitude, truth is revealed, and only by facing truth can you forge power. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must always think independently, apart from the influence of flatterers, sycophants, and the mob. Solitude is the training ground for that independence. When you strip away the voices of others, you learn to hear your own. When you no longer lean on the approval of the crowd, you learn to stand tall by yourself. Solitude gives you sovereignty of thought. You stop being bent by every shifting opinion, and you start deciding with cold clarity. But solitude is more than thought. Solitude is training for the spirit, because it forces you to confront discomfort head-on. It strips away the false comforts of company. It reveals the raw edges of your mind. And when you learn to sit in silence, to endure stillness, to face the mirror of your own thoughts without escape, you grow strong. Most men are terrified of themselves, but the man who can endure himself is indestructible. Solitude builds discipline. In solitude, there is no one to push you, no one to encourage you, no one to applaud you. It is only you, your will, and your mission. And when you can move forward without validation, when you can grind in silence with no witnesses, when you can persist without encouragement, you become unstoppable. You no longer depend on others for momentum. You carry it within you. That is the discipline forged in solitude. Understand this. Solitude is not isolation. It is not running away from the world. It is training for the world. The warrior trains in solitude so he can conquer in battle. The thinker withdraws into solitude so his words carry weight when he returns. The leader embraces solitude so he can govern with clarity among the noise of the crowd. Solitude is not retreat. Solitude is preparation. History proves it. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote his greatest reflections alone, in solitude, in silence, surrounded by war and chaos. Musashi, the legendary swordsman, spent years in solitude, perfecting his craft until he was untouchable. Nikola Tesla retreated into solitude to create visions of the future that still shape the world today. Greatness is born not in the crowd, but in the silence of solitude. When you embrace solitude, you become self-sufficient. You no longer depend on applause, praise, or validation. You move with calm power because you know you need nothing from anyone. That independence makes you magnetic, because when you stand whole by yourself, people feel it, they respect it, they cannot ignore it. Solitude makes you solid, unshakable, undeniable. But solitude does something else. It builds presence. The man who is comfortable alone radiates calm strength when among others. He does not chase attention. He does not cling to approval. He does not beg to belong. He belongs to himself, and that is enough. This makes him different. This makes him rare. And rarity is power. So how do you train solitude? You practice it. You make it a discipline. Sit in silence daily, without distraction. Walk alone, without noise. Work on your craft in private, without sharing every step with the world. Learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to think without interference. Learn to stand tall without applause. At first, solitude will feel heavy. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like a mirror you cannot turn away from. But stay with it. The discomfort is the training. The silence is the sharpening. And over time, solitude becomes your ally. You will crave it. You will use it. You will find power in it. And when you master solitude, you will never be needy again. You will never chase validation again. You will never fear silence again. You will carry yourself with calm, cold strength, and that strength will make you untouchable. Now declare it. Anchor it into your mind and identity. Write it in the comments with conviction. My solitude is my strength. Let it echo in you. Let it brand itself into your psychology. Because solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the forge where you build yourself into something unshakable. And once you master solitude, the crowd can never own you again. Number 8. The law of ruthless consistency. They quit. That is the truth. They set goals, make promises, and whisper to themselves that this time will be different. But soon, they stop. Their discipline crumbles. Their fire fades. They convince themselves they'll restart later when it's easier, when they feel ready. But that day never comes, and so they drift. The graveyards are full of men who started strong but could not endure. This is why power belongs to the consistent, not the gifted, not the lucky, not the brilliant, the consistent. Because consistency is greater than talent, greater than intelligence, greater than inspiration. Talent gives you a spark. Intelligence gives you a plan, but consistency turns sparks into fire and plans into empires. Consistency is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is not celebrated daily, it is silent, repetitive, often boring, but it is in that repetition that strength is built. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the steady, the ruler who endures, the soldier who trains daily, the builder who lays brick after brick without fail. These are the ones who create legacies. Consistency turns time into your servant, and time, when ruled, bends everything in your favor. Most men misunderstand this law. They chase intensity instead of consistency. They push hard for a week, then collapse. They sprint a mile, then never finish the marathon. Intensity burns quickly. Consistency builds endlessly. One drop of water is nothing, but repeated every day, it wears down stone. That is the law. That is why most men fail. They want speed, not strength. Consistency demands ruthlessness. It is not built on feelings. It is not built on moods. It is built on discipline. You must remove negotiation from your mind. There is no "if I feel like it." There is only "I do it." You must become cold with yourself. You must enforce your own law daily. Discipline becomes ritual. Routine becomes your weapon. You show up whether you are tired, bored, or uninspired. This ruthlessness makes you unstoppable. Think of the warrior who trains every day, sharpening his blade until it becomes part of him. Think of the craftsman who hammers at his work for years until mastery is inevitable. Think of the thinker who writes, studies, and reflects daily until his wisdom becomes unshakable. Their greatness was not born in single bursts of inspiration. It was born in ruthless consistency. Consistency also breaks resistance. At first, the path feels heavy. The mind resists. The body protests. But each day you repeat, the resistance weakens. Each day you push, discipline becomes easier. Until finally, consistency is your nature. What was once difficult becomes automatic. What was once a choice becomes law. This is how you reprogram your mind, not in theory, but in repetition. This law also protects you against chaos, because chaos thrives on inconsistency. It feeds on distraction, delay, and hesitation. But when you are consistent, chaos cannot touch you. No matter what storms rise, you continue. No matter what setbacks strike, you endure. Consistency turns you into a force of nature, predictable in action, unstoppable in progress. Understand this: consistency is rare. Most men collapse. Most men drift. Most men scatter themselves. But if you master this law, you instantly separate yourself. You rise into the top tier, not because you are more gifted, but because you refuse to stop. You refuse to scatter. You refuse to break. And over years, that refusal makes you untouchable. But let us be clear, consistency is not endless grinding without thought. It is not mindless repetition. It is purposeful, disciplined action repeated until results appear. It is sharpening the blade, not swinging blindly. Ruthless consistency is focused consistency. You commit to what matters, and you repeat it daily. You strip away what is trivial, you cut what is useless, and you channel everything into the habits that build power. So how do you train ruthless consistency? You build rituals, you create non-negotiable disciplines, wake at the same time, train daily, work on your craft daily, reflect daily. These become anchors, these become laws, and over time, they become you. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for inspiration. Both are weak. Ritual is stronger. Routine is stronger. Repetition is stronger. Machiavelli understood this principle. He taught that rulers must appear flexible in public, but within they must remain steady and disciplined. You too must carry this duality. Outwardly, adapt to what is required. Inwardly, remain consistent to your law. That is how power is built. Cold, steady, inevitable. Consistency also builds patience. Because when you commit to daily discipline, you stop obsessing over instant results. You trust the process. You trust time. You stop needing the world to reward you now. You understand that every day you build, your foundation deepens. Every day you persist, you get closer, and so your mind grows calm. Consistency and patience together create unshakable power. And here is the ultimate truth. Consistency makes you inevitable. You may not win today, you may not win tomorrow, but if you refuse to stop, victory becomes unavoidable. Because time cannot defeat the man who never breaks. Time cannot resist the one who endures. Consistency makes you permanent. So write this now in the comments. Burn it into your mind. Declare it with cold conviction. Consistency makes me unstoppable. Say it until it becomes your creed. Because when you master consistency, you master time. And when you master time, you master everything. Number 9, becoming untouchable. They break easily. They rise for a moment, then collapse at the first obstacle. They push forward with fire, only to let the winds of chaos blow it out. They crave results, but abandon the path when it demands too much. They look strong from a distance, but beneath the surface, they are fragile. They are touchable, bendable, breakable, because they never forged themselves into something permanent. They want to control the world, but they never mastered themselves. And a man who cannot master himself will always remain vulnerable. You cannot afford that fate. To walk this path, you must become untouchable. Untouchable does not mean invincible. Invincibility is an illusion. Untouchable is reality. It means you can be struck, tested, delayed, but not destroyed. It means that when life throws storms, you remain standing. It means that when the world pushes, you do not collapse. Untouchable is the state of being beyond the reach of weakness, because you have built your foundation so strong that nothing external can shake it. To become untouchable, you must weld together everything you have learned: cold focus, emotional control, the armor of detachment, the discipline of silence, the patience to endure, the strength of solitude, the law of ruthless consistency. All of these are pieces of the fortress. Alone, they are powerful. Together, they make you indestructible. This is how a man becomes more than just disciplined. This is how a man becomes inevitable. The untouchable man is not without scars. He is not without hardship. He has faced storms, but he has learned to become the eye of the storm, calm, centered, unshaken. He has walked through fire, but instead of burning, he hardened. He has been tested by chaos, but chaos has no power over him because he trained his mind to remain steady when others panic. He has transformed every weakness into a weapon, every failure into fuel, every test into training. Machiavelli wrote that rulers endure not because they are loved or feared, but because they are respected, because they appear steady, controlled, inevitable. That is what untouchable is, not a man who hides from life, but a man who has trained himself so thoroughly that life itself cannot bend him. He becomes a fortress on the mountain, immovable, undeniable. People may not understand his strength, but they feel it when he walks into the room. They sense the calm in his presence. They see the steadiness in his eyes. They recognize the discipline in his actions, and without him saying a word, they respect it. To become untouchable, you must stop negotiating with weakness. There can be no debates in your mind about discipline, no compromises with distraction, no bargains with fear. You do not wait for the world to give you peace. You create it within yourself. You do not wait for power to be handed to you. You build it daily, brick by brick, with ruthless consistency until it cannot be denied. You do not depend on applause. You stand whole without it. This is the law. Weakness cannot survive in a man who enforces his own cold discipline. When you are untouchable, nothing external can own you. The opinions of others cannot shake you. The distractions of the world cannot scatter you. The failures of yesterday cannot chain you. You move with calm certainty because you know who you are and what you stand for. You know what your law is, and you refuse to betray it. This is why the untouchable man becomes magnetic. He does not need respect, yet he receives it. He does not beg for loyalty, yet he commands it. He does not demand power, yet he builds it naturally, because everything he does radiates discipline. Understand this clearly. Untouchable is not about building armor around weakness. It is about burning weakness away until only strength remains. It is not about pretending to be strong. It is about becoming so strong that you no longer need to pretend. It is not about resisting chaos with desperation. It is about walking through chaos with mastery. To become untouchable is to transform yourself into something rare, something steady, something beyond reach. Think of what it gives you. Emotional storms come, but you remain clear. Temptations rise, but you remain steady. Failures hit, but you endure. Delays test you, but you persist. Noise surrounds you, but you stay silent. Loneliness comes, but you thrive in it. Every test that destroys ordinary men becomes your sharpening stone. Every obstacle that breaks them becomes your training ground. You are not untouched by the storm. You are untouchable within it. This state is not achieved overnight. It is not given. It is forged. You must train daily. You must act with discipline even when you feel none. You must hold your focus even when distraction screams. You must remain silent when ego wants to shout. You must stay patient when frustration burns. You must train in solitude when weakness tempts you to escape. You must repeat with consistency until it becomes your nature. Untouchable is not an event. It is a transformation. It is who you become when the laws of power stop being ideas and start being your identity. And when you reach it, you will feel the shift. The world will test you, and you will not flinch. People will doubt you, and you will not care. Life will try to shake you, but you will remain the fortress, calm, cold, unbreakable. This is the highest form of power. This is what every man secretly craves, but few have the courage to build. Now it is your turn to claim it. Anchor it into your identity. Write it in the comments with conviction. I am untouchable. Say it until it becomes your creed. Live it until it becomes your law. Because once you are untouchable, no storm can shake you, no failure can destroy you, no weakness can own you. You will walk through life not as a man begging for control, but as a man who already owns it. And remember this journey does not end here. Becoming untouchable is not a finish line, it is a way of life. Every day you must train, every day you must sharpen, every day you must enforce the laws. This is how you remain cold in discipline, sharp in focus, steady in chaos. This is how you remain untouchable, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. And before you go, one last command. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Not for me, for you, so that every time you return, you sharpen your mind further, you strengthen your discipline, and you continue building the fortress within. Because here, on Sagritham, we are not chasing motivation. We are forging untouchable minds. And now, it is your time to rise. Listen closely. Before you go, I need you to act. Like this video right now. Subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, turn on notifications to all so you never miss a single lesson. Because on the 10th of this month, we begin something powerful. A full 30-day series that will change the way you see yourself and the world. The name is Psychology of Self-Mastery. Confidence, respect, and positive influence. For 30 days, every single day, you will be trained. Your mind will be sharpened. Your discipline will be enforced. Your presence will grow. By the end, you will not only carry confidence, you will radiate respect and command positive influence wherever you go. So get ready, mark the date, 10th of this month, 30 days, 30 lessons, 30 transformations. Like, subscribe, and hit notifications to all, because this is not entertainment, this is training, and your training begins in 3 days.